Man, I think if an agent is not using AI in some capacity, they're just going to get pummeled in the next couple, like literally couple of years, if not sooner.
I think they're telling themselves that it's not authentic, that it's not really their voice. And I think you can change that. I think there's a great way to collaborate with AI. So it's a tool that just makes you faster, more efficient, and smarter. The code word is the AI agent.
Boom.
So, free book if you shoot me a DM or email, and I'll send it over to you guys.
Today's episode is brought to you by my friend Andy Bovender, the founder of the Bovender team out of the Carolinas. Him and his team have helped more than 5,000 families. So if you have that client who's been thinking about making a move to or from that area, they are the referral partners to call. Today, I sit down with Ryan Garson and we unpack the question is AI overrated? Is it really going to change the game for real estate agents? Stay tuned. This is a really interesting conversation, and definitely have a pen and paper ready because he rattles off some amazing tips and tricks that you can implement into your business right now, immediately. Additionally, he offers a couple freebies, and so stay tuned for that, which he very generously offers. So definitely stay tuned for that. As always, I'm your referral partner out of San Francisco, Sean Conkler. Ryan, what's up? Part two. Let's do this.
Yes, let's go.
Welcome back. Dude, you got some exciting news, which we're definitely going to unravel your new book that you put out. Um, but I want to kind of, as we dive in, what's the one lie agents are telling themselves about AI right now?
I think they're telling themselves that it's not authentic, that it's not really their voice. And I think you can change that. I think there's a great way to collaborate with AI. So it's a tool that just makes you faster, more efficient, and smarter.
I think that's you just nailed it. I think some agents that I've talked to, they kind of use it, they think of it as like this other thing or an entity or them, but it's a tool. That's all it is, plain and simple.
Yeah, I mean, it's really expanded my business tremendously. I'm so much more efficient. I communicate so much better. I feel like clients expect it now. Like they're using AI too. So,
It's true.
if you're not clear, if you're not explaining everything, um, they might just ask AI if you can't get the job done. Like, they have alternatives, and they're collaborating with AI on the home process. And if they're not, they're probably not the smartest sellers, but they're probably asking AI like, how much is my house worth? I'm I want to find the best realtor to sell my house for the highest possible price in the
Yep.
least time. Like, how do I find that agent? What kind of questions do I ask them? What should I be looking for? So I think everyone's aligning themselves with AI right now. I feel like you should be on the winning side of it. Um, and it'll just make you stronger and smarter.
Yeah, man, I'm on the same page. I mean, I'm in Silicon Valley, so not only are people using AI, I'm working with the people who are actually building it. And you're in New York, which is an equal and proportionate hub. And so I agree. Our clients specifically are all over this stuff, and they're asking the questions, and they're leveraging it. So we should at least understand it ourselves. But to put dollars and cents to it, how many deals have you done that you would attribute to being able from leveraging AI?
I mean, that's a open, loaded question. I mean, I'm doing more volume,
Hmm.
and I've always been like a volume agent. I'm probably going to sell like 75 homes this year and do another 40 or 50 rentals. So, I'm working less.
Wow.
I feel like I've always been in that range, but I'm able to, like, an email that used to take me an hour can take me 5 minutes. Evaluations. I'm a listing agent. I do evaluations probably like 3 or 4 a week. That used to take me an hour plus. I do it in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of time saving. I've always honestly had a hard time writing. Like, I'm a great communicator. I'm an in-person, uh, you know, communicator. I like to talk to people. I like to engage. But in today's day and age, like, they want emails, like, walking them through everything. They want text messages explaining everything. And now I collaborate with AI, and I can have I just voice memo everything, and then it puts it out into a clear email or text message.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm in the same boat. I'm obviously I can do this podcast. I'm doing just fine doing this, but when I have to sit down and write, if I have to write a really well crafted email to a client, it can take me a couple hours because I'm trying to enter their world, understanding what they're wanting and needing, and then I'm trying to figure out how to frame it in a specific way where they can actually hear and get the pieces out that are important to them. And AI just
I
it
mean,
makes it a straight line.
a lot of the times, like, even like those emails that are difficult to write, I can say, give me 3 different versions of this email. Give me a passive, an aggressive, a neutral type of email, and then I can take like pieces and parts of each one. So I really talk to it. I like, the one thing that I do and I explain in my book is I customize it. Like, I'm so big on the custom GBTs. I have instructions for my custom GBTs that are, it's almost like, it's really like code. It talks exactly how I talk, the tone, the language I like to use. I wrote a book in 2021. I upload that book so it has my voice. But I customize each one of my chats. So if I'm going to, like, an evaluation, or if I want to, like, do negotiations, I have a great negotiation custom GBT. I work with Steve Scholl as my coach, and he's got all these frameworks. He's got every framework you could ever think of, from positioning a listing to a price reduction to a discovery call with a buyer or seller. So I put all his frameworks into this custom GBT. And now it's like having Steve Scholl at my beck and call, honestly. Like, it has his mentality. And, like, I love, like, when I'm in a negotiation, sometimes I'll just, like, copy the whole, like, email chain, and I'll put it in the chat, and I'll be like, how should I respond? Like, what do you think? Like, what's the best way to get a deal done? And I, like, talk to it. And, it's like a psychiatrist. It's like a coach. It's like a manager at your beck and call.
Yeah. When I was talking to Brian Knox, who's huge on AI, and actually Greg Hyder jumped in on this, and they were both saying that when they started to look at ChatGPT as like a department head, everything shifted for them. Where it's like, to your point, it's kind of like, all right, it's a negotiating expert, and then you're now seeking advice from this thing, and it's helping you, and then more specifically, it can craft it within the tone and tonality of Steve Scholl, and it's just like, man, it's wild how much stuff you can do and get it to do. But I love to take your own emails that you've spent time crafting and writing and putting into your language, feed it to it, teach it, this is my tone, this is how I speak, this is how I communicate with clients, and it'll figure you out super fast.
Well, like, I also have a marketing agency, Very Social. And the last time I was on your podcast, I believe we were talking about social media. I was on the forefront of social media, 5 years ago. Now I'm seeing the same thing with AI. And so what Very Social does is we look at your business as a real estate agent, and we say, how could you incorporate AI into your business to save you time, make you more money? So, like, these custom GBTs, I think it's a no-brainer. So for $500, we'll go onto your chat GBT, and we'll like have an interview with you and kind of get a feel for what your voice is, and we'll create the custom GBTs for you, for like whatever topics you want. I would recommend marketing, sales and cold outreach, negotiations, and evaluations. But I also have a really good one on business planning, on listings descriptions, on like even social media comments. Like I could put somebody's post, like, because I like to engage with people, but sometimes like to come up with the thoughtful comments, not, I just copy and paste their post in there, and it gives me a really thought provoking comment. Because I feel like doing good comments on other people's posts is a way to get their attention. I feel like it saves so much time.
Yeah. Hey friends, I have a small favor to ask. For me to continue to bring you outstanding guests who share their best kept secrets for growing a successful real estate business, please take a moment and hit that like button so agents like you can find this content. And also hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss out on any new episodes. Now, back to our show. And I want to go back to that with what you're talking about with comments from doing this podcast. And obviously you're heavy in the social game. I have found, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in this finding, but the majority of agents actually hang out on Instagram. And the best way to get agent to agent referrals is by building those relationships. And to your point, if you just say, wow, cool property, that's not an engaging comment. But if you actually say something that's thoughtful and provoking and engaging, they're going to communicate with you.
Totally.
Then it's going to evolve into something else.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just like giving up the thumb, I think any kind of love is good love, by the way. So even like liking a thumbs up emoji, like whatever. But like I really do take it to another level, and I actually have a GBT where I really create thought-provoking comments that create conversations, and like that's what I've always been like with social media. I've always like wanted to create conversations through social media. I wanted to connect with people and be social, and I mean I have hundreds of DM conversations going on right now, but I take that to comments. I also really think it's important to comment on like the Real Deal or Inman or like the Post, and like actually being thought leaders like on those type of comments too. That like there's already hundreds of comments, so like I'm a lot of the times I'll like comment on like a really popular article or like an influencer, somebody that already has like the eyeballs on their post, and I'll create a thought-provoking comment, and then I can get a chain going where there's maybe like 10 or 20 messages.
Yes.
So it's like another way to create conversations. Like I think us as real estate agents, we want to be having as many conversations as we can. And there's a lot of different, it's not easy to be out in a gala or a restaurant or a bar or a park and like create conversations. But, you could be online and you could just be scrolling and using AI to like kind of like get you over the hump, to like give you, to like say, like just copy and paste, put it in there, and it'll give you some options.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you put it in context like that. If you use social media as a tool, and then you can even start the prompt is, I'd like to say something about X, Y, and Z, and then see what it spits out, and then you can make your tweaks to it. And again, to go back to the earlier point, it's just a tool. You don't have to use the entire tool. You can just use the part that actually works. Yeah, it's funny. I've never thought of leveraging it and like for that specific thing, and it's brilliant. And to go back to the marketing piece, to build your brand using AI, and to your point, for $500, that's exponentially cheaper than it was 10 years ago. Like tens of thousands of dollars cheaper than it was just a few years ago.
Yeah.
To have somebody sit down, audit all of your stuff, who your actual client is, what their habits are, who you are, what properties are you actually selling, and then creating a direction. That would have been so much flipping money back in the day.
Well, I mean, I really just thought, I'm like, what do I use the most? Like, and I use all the different platforms. I use
Yeah.
them all. I use Perplexity, Claude, Grok, HeyGen for my avatar, 11 Labs for my voice, um, Gemini, and of course ChatGPT. But like these custom GBTs, like I live in there.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's so important to like for it to sound like you. And it's like, you know, there's ways that you could make it sound like you and not a human. Like that's a very easy fix. It's just an easy fix. And like that's what these custom GBTs are. Like they're made to like have your voice. So you could have thought provoking, you know, messaging, emails, text, at like a snap of a fingers.
Yeah. It's super funny. Me tweaking this podcast, I literally was on this morning and I said, give me 10 different strategies for opening questions for the podcast. And then it gave me different strategies. And then I picked two that I liked and I said, expand on this. And I basically leveraged it for a totally different thing. And that's not even getting to the voice or the tone or the tonality. That's just give me some ideas and give me a direction to start running in. But you rattled off a handful of really amazing AI tools. What's the one that you use by far, head and shoulders above the rest? I'd be willing to bet the hardest part of your day isn't the work. It's the mental load. It's the decision fatigue. It's the shuffling of priorities while you're already playing catch up. You're checking off things from your to-do list just as fast as they're getting added. And I'd also be willing to bet some of those meaningful business relationships you've had in the past have begun to fade. Ace Your Day is a physical deck of 52 strategic cards designed to halt fatigue. Refined by real-world results, this system replaces chaos of a to-do list with a curated set of high-impact actions. It's simple. Set a timer for 15 minutes, draw a card, and make your move. The deck handles the thinking, you drive the business. Building a secure business should not be a guessing game. Let's stop overthinking the day and trust a system that prioritizes connections and relationships. Let the deck handle the strategy, you focus on the results. Click the link in the description to reclaim your day 15 minutes at a time.
Well, I think I have a process right now that I think is kind of interesting. So, like every morning, I read the papers. I like love the morning, like the Morning Brew. Read the Times. I read the Post, and I like skim through it. You know, I'm not spending 2 hours reading the paper, but I like skim through. I read the articles I like, and I get ideas. So, when I get an idea, I start with a blog, and I go on Perplexity and let's say in Fifth Avenue in Manhattan, they're expanding the sidewalks and they're going to make it more like pedestrian friendly. And they're right now there's 4 lanes of traffic, and they're going to cut it down to 2 and expand the sidewalks. So I thought that was like really interesting. So I went on Perplexity and I was like, hey, give me all the information on the expansion of the Fifth Avenue subway. And then Perplexity is really cool because it has like prompts after that. It's like, do you want the economic impact? What's the timeline? When is this gonna, actually happen? Is that gonna raise more taxes? Is it gonna be more restaurants? Like, is that gonna bring more residential housing? So like, and I might come up with the ideas or whatever, like, but I work with it. So I get all my information from Perplexity. Like that's what Perplexity is really good at. And I think like knowing the different AI platforms and like what they're good at. And so then I go to Claude because I feel like Claude is really good at the long form writing, especially with big data sets that I'm going to get from Perplexity. And I said, write me a 1,200 word blog. I want it to be authentic. I want it to be in my voice. I want it to have like geotags so it gets picked up for SEO purposes. And so it writes me the blog. And then I'm like, all right, I also want to do the rest of my content pieces. I want to do a 3-minute YouTube video, a 1-minute Instagram and TikTok video, and I want to do a LinkedIn post. And so it writes all of that. So then I take all of that and I put it into my custom GBT, where I have like my marketing and like scripts, or I have one for my blog. So I'm like, then now I like put it into my blog, and I have my new, it's like my editor for my blog, and then I have another one, custom GBT, for like my short form videos, and now I have all my scripts. So from there, now I'm going to shoot the video. So for my long form videos, I'm going to use my avatar, and I'll like just have the avatar. Then I send it over to an editor, somebody I have overseas, and they create like a video. And a lot of the times I'm like, I try to do it where it's like for YouTube, like the hook is always like something that's like Google friendly word, like what's happening in Midtown, how is the Fifth Avenue expansion, the sidewalks like going to affect my real estate prices. Like I have this other AI, it's called Ask the Public, and it's like an SEO AI platform that like has all the top Google words. So it'll tell you what people are Googling in like certain topics. And so I'll usually find those words, and then I'll create my headline like on the subject, like how I write the copy as that headline, and then I'll usually have my hook as that too. And so then from there, I'm doing my avatar, and then I'm usually doing the teleprompter for like the 3-minute video and the 1-minute video. And so now I'm getting all my, like, I've got my blog, I got my YouTube video, I got my TikTok video, I got my Instagram video, I got my LinkedIn like post. So it's like 5 pieces of content. Oh, and did I say the blog? And the blog, you know? So it's like I got all these pieces of content that are all going in different directions that are like making me very visible online. And, you know, I'm talking about like my community. I'm talking about New York, like what's going on. Like this is a topic that's informative. And it's like, it starts from me kind of like reading the papers, getting inspiration. Like I do a lot of, like Leonard gives me a lot of inspiration. I did a whole content piece on like what his one topic was, is new worth the price? Like, as he's saying, is like new development really worth it? And like I went on Perplexity topic. And I went on Perplexity, and like I got all this research, and I just did my format. I started with the blog, the YouTube videos, and I just like, and it probably took me like a half hour. But I mean, if I was really going to actually do that, the research would take me an hour and a half.
Oh my God, if not longer. Like I feel like to do all of that without all of those tools, well, you then need humans, because you need somebody to look stuff over. Like you and I both said, we're not great writers, so then you need somebody to like check your work, and so you wind up needing all these other people. You mentioned to run it through your avatar. What platform which AI are you using for that?
I'm using HeyGen for my avatar. So you could do your avatar on your phone, but I actually thought it wasn't like that great, like the quality. So I got my videographer to just like film me for use. Like I was talking for 20 minutes. That's what they want you to do. And then the voice isn't that great for HeyGen, but so I used 11 Labs. That's really good for voice, for like cloning your voice. And so I just put the two together. And so now I have like a great avatar. I'm still like working on how I want to use it. Like right now I've been like actually just getting a lot of attention, like communicating with my avatar. Like I actually like talk to my avatar. Like I have a script, and then my avatar will talk, and then I'll like talk back, and we're back and forth. And that's been getting a lot of attention. And I've been doing some of those like the long form videos with the avatar. But it honestly, it cost me a lot of money because I have to do the editing manually, and I have to hire an editor. So to do like a long form video is like not cheap. Yeah. But I'm like, that's like kind of like, it's something I'm like really working on more of.
Regarding the editing, I'll tell you offline, but I have some interesting intel I'm happy to share with you.
Okay, cool.
Um, yeah, like super secret stuff.
All
As I
right, good. I
shared, I'm
like it.
in Silicon Valley, so I got clients who tip their hat.
I mean, I'm on Sora. You know Sora?
I've heard of it. I've never used it.
It's
Oh
open
yeah, yeah,
AI.
yeah. Actually, I've seen it. Um,
It's really cool. You could just give it a voice prompt, and it has a video of you, like a
yeah.
3 second video, and then it could create whatever you want in like 30 seconds. So I had this really funny video I did where I said I want to be at the dog park, and I want my dog to be recruiting buyers and sellers by talking to other dogs. So my dog goes up to other dogs and is like, "Hey, do you know any?
That's
How's your owners? Are they looking to move or sell? Like any kind of insights you can give me?" And so then the dog finds out some information, comes up to me like, "Oh, the lady with the black poodle is looking to sell." And so then I walk up and I hand her a card. I'm like, "Oh, I heard you're looking to
that
sell."
that's hilarious. A friend of mine in the city did a whole piece on. She helped buyers buy a property, and the whole piece was about helping the dog have a new home. And so yeah, it's different. It's interesting. It's unique, and it makes us. That's the whole point of good media. Is it pauses you for a second. It scratches the record, and you're like, hold on, let me watch this. This is good. But
Mhm.
that's crazy clever to go at it from the perspective of the dog. It's funny. It's like cute. It hits all the
Yeah,
it
I
hits
have
all
like
the
you could just create all sorts of videos. It's not perfect by any means, but I mean uh, it's just crazy that I can like give it a few different lines and it comes up with videos. I was like, oh, I want to be flying around New York City in like a jet packet with a sign that says the AI agent, like, and it just does it for me. I mean, and this is like the first round of it. I
yeah.
don't know where we're going to be in 5 or 10 years. I mean, I
Dude,
think technology is just moving so fast.
yeah. I mean, it's just compounding at this point. I mean, 5 years ago, you just rattled off a list of six AI platforms. A handful of years ago, none of those existed.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it's bonkers at the speed that it's picking up its own momentum.
I mean,
Um,
even the content that I'm putting out there, I'm putting out so much content,
yeah,
so quickly. It's so easy for me, because I'm
yeah.
an idea guy. So it's like I have ideas, and then I just like talk to ChatGPT or my other platforms, and like I can execute now.
That's incredible. I mean, and that's entrepreneur right there. Is we usually have these big ideas, but there's always the gap between either executing them ourselves or finding people to execute them. That's always
Exactly.
our stick
Exactly. I
point.
mean, this is the best employee you can find.
It's not only an employee, it's you can have an executive level expert in any category evaluate things for you. Like you can have the most badass marketing guru looking over your stuff, as you just shared, like for hyper specific things, like using Perplexity specifically for
Hmm.
this one execution. And it's creating it for you to put it out there at volume. And
Yeah.
that's at the end of the day, if an agent isn't known, they're not getting business, period. And then within that, you have to actually start building relationships with people either in person or via social, whatever platform that be, or marketing, I should say. And so it's, man, I think if an agent is not using AI in some capacity, they're just going to get pummeled in the next couple, like literally couple of years, if not sooner.
Yeah. Agreed.
For your book, who's the ideal reader?
Real estate professionals, but most likely agents. Yeah.
With like brand new to AI and trying to figure it out, or people who kind of have an idea of what's happening?
I feel like I'm pretty advanced with AI, and there's like a lot of case studies of like how I use it, like what I've done to be successful. It's like a mix of like thought leadership on AI with some like how to.
Interesting. Yeah, I know your team was mailing me a book, and I'm really genuinely looking forward to checking
Yeah,
it
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be good.
Um,
And it's an easy read too. It's a crazy story how I wrote the book though. It's on, you know,
yeah.
well, you know, my last book. Bring up. Nick, could you get me a Very Social Broker? So this is the book. Let's see. Hang with me. The Very Social Broker. It took me like over a year to write. This I wrote it in 48 hours.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote the Insider's Guide to Home Buying when I first got into business. It took me I think a year in total,
Yeah.
and it was a grinding year. I'm the third worst writer in the world. It took me forever to get through it, and then to do the edits and revisions. Man, I banged those out in a weekend. It's like
Yeah.
using AI.
So, you know, now that Very Social is in the AI space, I was like, how could I start to get the word out? And, you know, I want to like start to like market like market it in a different manner. I'm like, you know what? I should I was swimming. It was 11 a.m. on a Saturday and I was swimming. And I'm like, I'm going to write a book. Like in the middle of my stroke, I'm like, all right. So I get out of the pool. I ended up having to do some like family stuff. I sit down at my computer at like 8 p.m. and I go on Perplexity and I go, what are the top 10 AI books? What are the top 10 real estate books? What do they have in common? What are the top AI platforms that real estate professionals are using? I go on Grok and I go, what's trending right now for AI and social media? Who are the top social media content creators? What are they talking about? What are they posting? And so I take all this information. I got almost like 300 pages of data that I put it all on Perplexity. And then from there, I go to Claude. And I said, I want to write a book. I uploaded my Very Social Broker book. This is my voice. And then I go on ChatGPT and I say, ask me 25 questions about what I want this book to be. So then I voice memo that to ChatGPT. So then I put it all into Perplexity. Then I give it to Claude. And then Claude starts doing table of contents, and then chapter by chapter. Wow. And so then I created a custom GBT. I said, act as my editor. I go, you have my 2021 Very Social Broker book. That's my voice. But I want to tell stories like Ryan Serhant. I want to have teachable moments like Jason Pantana. I want to be inspirational like Steve Scholl. I want to have negotiation strategies like Chris Voss. And I said, I want you to like edit this book. I want this book to be at like an 8th grade level for reading. And the target market are real estate professionals. And so I would then go and I would take like each chapter and I would put it into the custom GBT. It would be like, oh, I like this, but you know, I think we should change this or we should change that. And then a couple of chapters, I was like, you know what? Oh, wait, I want to add Otter AI. It's like a note-taking AI, which I actually love these note-taking AIs.
Yeah.
And I want to add a chapter on that. Oh, you know what? Let me like change this a little bit about the CRM, or you know what? They're putting a different chapter for like 11 Labs for the voice and not Hey Jen with the avatar. Like, let me combine that. I feel like that's combined. And so I'm like moving everything around. I'm tossing, I'm like switching everything. And by the time 3 o'clock rolls around, I finish the book, 180 pages plus an appendix with like my favorite prompts. And then I didn't even read it but when I was doing it, I was just kind of like going off like the notes that my editor was giving me and then making the changes. And then I read it the next day. And then I had a bunch of notes, especially the storytelling. I feel like wasn't really like me, and it just needed more detail. It needed to expand on it. So then I read the whole thing. I made some notes and some edits, and then from there I had somebody on my team read it, and then I sent it to my ghostwriter to like kind of give it a little bit more of a humanize it, and then I got that done in 2 weeks. I sent it to I self-published. I got it printed in 3 weeks.
Dude,
3 weeks.
That's
I mean,
bonkers.
it's like pretty legit book.
It's thick. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
I've
bonkers.
already sold 500 copies.
Bro, that's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. And the other, to kind of step back from like a strategic perspective, it's specifically targeting agents. There's 500 copies sold. There's 2.5 million agents in the U.S. You're now building a relationship with those people, and when those agents have a client who's thinking about moving to New York, you're already the expert.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, which is brilliant. It's like, it's brilliant on multiple categories, and it's 2 weeks of investment
Yeah.
for something now that if you give it to somebody, you meet them, you meet an agent, and you're like, hey, you should really read this book. They're never going to throw it away, and it rides on their desk, and they're like, oh yeah, Ryan, he's super cool. Oh, I got this client moving to New York, and it's, man, it's. I'm a huge fan of putting out books
Yeah,
because
I
it's
love books. I think books are great. It's the second one I've published. I have a children's book coming out. Um, that's going to be really cool. That I'm very excited about.
dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What do you not do?
You
You
know what?
sleep.
I could do a lot with AI. I used to not sleep a lot, but now I'm sleeping just fine.
That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, even as you were sharing that, I was like, wow, it'd be really good to go back and take our seller's guide or our buyer's guide and use AI to refine it and clean it up. Because if multiple agents across the US are leveraging it, then we're all feeding it information, which is going to make mine better and then help it stand out. And there's so many applications to this.
Yeah, I agree.
Are you speaking at any of the upcoming retreats on this? I feel like this is an amazing
I'm like doing a
stage
lot of
topic.
sales meetings and presentations. I'm going to South Florida over Thanksgiving. I'm doing LA in December, um,
Smart.
and doing all the regional like Connecticut, Long Island, New Jersey, like over the next couple months.
So smart.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so smart because it's not showing up and like, hey, send me referrals and all that crap. It's like,
Yeah,
here's
it's
something of
real
true
value.
value.
I put a lot of work into it. Like I took a couple
Yeah.
courses. Reading about it all the time. I watch a ton of like social, like on TikTok. Like that's my feed. Like I'm always trying um, to learn more. And I'm an agent. Like that's my gig. I'm out there, pitching business and working with buyers and dealing with heartbreak and victory and um, it's we're in a very being a real estate agent is just it's there's always controversy. There's always something going on. Like the post is always moving and like
Yeah.
I'm in it. Like I feel like and that's why I've always I feel like I've always been very generous with like my like knowledge and my thoughts like on real estate because I really don't see things as like black and white and I like I got into it because I like the whole creative nature of real estate and the storytelling and the connecting with people and the deal making and like all the hats that you wear. You have to be an accountant and operations and sales and marketing. I mean,
Yeah.
we're all entrepreneurs. And so like whatever kind of tools that are at our disposal to like help our lives, be easier, like I'm not that great at a lot of different things. Some things I'm really good at. But I think like, this AI is just, it's a great tool to make you so much more well-rounded.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. It's a tool. It's like having a dishwasher in your house. It's a tool, you leverage it and it helps expedite something. And for people like you who can't sit still, it's like it gives you a
But I
lot
have,
more
Sean, I
freedom.
want to ask you a question. So like when I
Yeah.
do my presentation, I always like to say like, who in this, like who in this room thinks that I wrote the book or who thinks AI wrote the book? And honestly, it's a mixed bag.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't I've had the same thought and I don't – I go back and forth. It's like, is the prompter, It's like it's like where does it lie?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. It's an interesting. What do you think? What is your opinion on it?
Um, I think it's a collaboration. I couldn't have done it without. I couldn't have wrote that book without AI.
Yeah.
But maybe I could, but I'd probably be on chapter 2 right now.
Maybe add a co-author of AI.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
My co-author's AI. But it's my ideas, it's my
yeah.
directions, it's my prompts. I
Well,
did a lot of research myself,
yeah.
and I gave it direction, like just like I would a ghostwriter.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's you go to the symphony and who's who's making the music? Is it the violinist or the conductor? Like
Now there's AI music.
that's crazy. I've
Yeah,
heard, holy crap, I heard Eminem done in like a 50s style and it was mind bending at how good it was. I was like, holy crap, this is just next level stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, again, we talked about it earlier. If you draw a line out in the next few months, year, couple of years, the direction this is going is it's completely shifting.
yeah,
And whereas those and that's where I think that's the opportunity that lies for the agent is how do we then level up our skills? And there is a skill to everything that you've said. It's all about prompting. It's knowing which of the platforms to go to for that thing and how do you the user the conductor how do I get to that piece to get the result that I ultimately need and I think that's the part that's going to level us up and the agents who aren't learning it aren't using it they're you're and it's things that you have to execute on you're just going to have to spend a lot of money because you'll have to hire actual people to do it is really the math that's going to happen there.
yeah. No, I agree. I think like if you I like to like agents, new agents, let's say. New agents can kind of like get by now because they can get information, they can answer like really complex questions. But if you actually like arm a really experienced agent with I mean, like the way that I would prompt AI to like get information would be different
Mm,
than like a new beginner agent, and then also the way I deliver the information would be different too. So it's like you
yeah.
really, you know, I think newer agents could probably get away with being an expert, even though they're not. But I think like an expert with AI, is like unstoppable.
That's a great point. Yeah, I would agree with that. Um, I think too, it's interesting. I'm like thinking of it as from like a marketing perspective is when I see something that's not refined and it's just cut and paste from ChatGPT, I immediately click off. And so I think you do have to be the expert, but I think at the end of the day, it needs to be guised as human.
It has to have your
Otherwise,
touch on it. Yeah, totally. I mean, you see the M dashes or like the emoji is like you could tell.
yeah,
Um, and even like the blogs like have to have like a human like feel to them. They can't just
yeah,
be AI. Um, but like I have all the tools that could make me blend in.
yeah. And I think that's the art. And I love what you said too about the video of you talking to your avatar. Like that's a way to do it, a way to do it, but keep it in an interesting way, where it's like you're actually calling attention to the thing itself, leveraging it, or the one with the dog. It's like you're not trying to hide it as human. You're making it this its own piece, and
Yeah,
that's where it like bypasses our resistance. because I do think there is a level of, it's kind of like sales 101. The moment the person feels like they're being sold, their guards go up. And so you can't ever smell like it's a sales pitch in any capacity. And so how do you then craft it in a way that it's not? And so I think that's going to be that is the actual art of using it. And that's the human component. Like that's where we have to think critically about these things, which I also think that's a lost art for humans, is thinking critically.
Critically?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we're just all following these social trends and not actually thinking, is that true? But I'm excited for your book. I'm really looking forward to it, and it's interesting, and I really appreciate the way that you broke down the different attributes of these different platforms, because I don't know them. And so having you jump in and just be like, it's, the expert in the room, like, do this
Yeah, and
thing.
it's not like high level. I feel like it could be for beginners, it could be for advanced. It's what I'm doing. And I'm like, it's really incorporated in my day to day. My team is using it. Um, and it's working. And I feel like it's just, everyone's talking about it for a reason.
It's true. I mean, if you just watch the stock market, the AI companies are crushing it right now. And it is the wave. Like, we are
Yeah.
100% in this wave. And you and I talked about, like, it's continuing to compound, and it's growing, and it's evolving, and it's teaching itself, which is wild to think about. So I don't know, man. I think it's like buckle up, either
Buckle up.
adopted, or you're just going to be on
Yeah.
the struggle
Yeah.
bus.
Yeah. Exactly.
Um, for your team, because I know you have well, let's give everybody some scale and scope. How many people are on your team, and then what are the rules, and then where are you seeing them leverage AI?
So I have two full time staff and I have 5 agents. The agents are like using it minimal. Just like social media, I'm like, guys, I'll help you do social media. They're not into it. Feel like they use ChatGPT. I got them all the custom GBTs, so I feel like they kind of are using it for like emails and text messages and strategy. But I'm really pushing my staff. I
Mm.
want my staff using it. Like, I actually, um, Nick behind me is an intern. She's because my operations manager, who's been with me for like 4 years plus, just had a baby.
Oh,
So
goodness.
she put together like a document um, on like how our like all our systems and like an operations manual. And so I took that operations manual and I created a custom GBT. And so now it's like he has a question, he just goes on that GBT, and it's like he has everything there like, at his fingertips of how to do things.
Holy shit, that's brilliant. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
really
man.
pushing my team. I like, especially my marketing manager. Like, I want them to be efficient. I want them, I want obviously the human touch, but like I want to be doing more and more. And like I feel like AI like has that mentality to help you actually get that done.
And it's interesting. I think just having conversations with other agents. Hey, how are you using chat AI? Like, what are you using? Why are you using this? I, you just sharing that sparked, like, oh yeah, we have all of our manuals in Google Drive. Well, just use ChatGPT to find the specific ones that you need on the fly, instead of like doing all these Forrest Gump searches.
Well, you can like the next new wave, and very social can help with this, is called creating agents, where we can like automate things. So like
Mm.
I think I told you earlier that I like read the papers and then I come up with an idea, that, and then I want to go and create like a blog and then all the content pieces. So now I have an agent that will automatically do all those steps for me. It'll find out what the trendiest like topics are, how it relates to my voice and what my audience looks for. And so now, boom, it's doing all those steps for me automatically.
Interesting. What? How?
Well, you can connect ChatGPT to like your Google Drive, to Gmail, to Dropbox. You can connect it to all the apps, and so now you can then create an agent to like automatically do things like go through your like let's say go through your emails and say I want to go. Could you go through all of my? Let's say you give them a list. These like 120 people are my like top past clients. I want you to scan through all my emails and see if there's anything I need to like respond to them or any reason to reach out to them. Do they have an anniversary coming up, or do one of their kids have a birthday or get into college? And they could like scan through all your emails and like give you reasons to reach out to people.
Dude, yeah. I feel like we can you should just do a tips and tricks, and we can sit here for an hour because it would be like mind blowing.
Just ask it too. Like this is my business. I'm a real estate agent in San Francisco. Last year I sold $50 million. I have an assistant. How could I sell $75 million? Like, what could I be doing? Like, where should I be investing my time and money? How could I be using AI to help me? Like, what tasks could we be doing? Like, how could I be reaching more people? I live in this neighborhood. My kid goes to school here. Last year I did majority of my sales in this neighborhood. How do I increase that? And then also get into doing more business in this neighborhood? I mean, that's a prompt. And then, how do I connect with more agents to get more referrals? Like, what could I be doing on social media on a, daily, weekly, and monthly basis? Could you give me a 30, 60 day, 90-day business plan? I mean, these are prompts that you work with it, and then you look at it, you edit it a little bit, you kind of make it work for you.
Dude, I'm inspired. It's so good, man. I'm excited to pick up your book. Is it where's it available? Is it on Amazon? I'm assuming?
Amazon, Barnes and Noble. It's everywhere. If anybody sees this and shoots me a DM, I'll just mail you a free book. No, that's on me. No problem.
Wow, dude, that's super generous.
I know a lot of real estate agents love your podcast. So
I mean, it's similar to your book. I'm trying to help 2.5 million
Too bad this
agents.
Is the end of the podcast. I should have probably started to that. I should have said started and like, hey, if I give there's a code word at the end.
Well, you know what? Say whatever you want to say now. I'll have the editor put that right up in the front.
Okay. The code word is the AI agent.
Boom. We'll put that right up front, and then they'll be like, what is that regarding?
Yeah. So free book if you shoot me a DM or email, and I'll send it over to you guys.
And what's the best way, the best platform?
So my Instagram is The Very Social Broker. I also have on Instagram the Garson Team, which I think is the best team Instagram handle out there, or one of the best. I also have my agency, Very Social NYC.
I didn't know that. I want to check that out. And I really like what you were sharing about kind of doing the whole auditing piece.
I'll do that. You know what? I got you. I'll give a complimentary. You know what? And also, if you DM me audit, we'll give you a free social media, AI audit. And
Dude, you're crushing it.
I got you.
This is amazing. This is the most freebies anybody's given away on any of the episodes. So congratulations. You're now number one for that.
Thank you. I'm not going to be giving up any of my commission now.
Unless it's a referral.
Yeah. All right. 95% referral fees. No.
Awesome. Ryan, man, this was great. I really appreciate your time. And again, thank you for your generosity. That's really super cool of you.
No, I appreciate it. And I appreciate everything you're doing for the agent community. You're always providing a wealth of information and inspiration. And I feel like you really can connect with an agent mentality. And, it's a great podcast. You do a good job.
I appreciate that. And I feel like I need to talk with your team about the social component. So yeah. I'll be reaching out.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Man. That's a wrap.
All right.